Hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today I want to talk about do not do these mistakes coming to the Philippines, in the Philippines when you're coming here. This is the 6th time I did this video. It never fails. Noise, chainsaws, hammers, I don't know, dogs, roosters. I don't know the noise. Do not walk around and show big bills in public. A lot of people do that. They have a wad of money, they come out and they show them the wad of money and say, okay, here you go. Always keep small change in one side of your pocket and maybe the other, or have your girlfriend or wife carry some money and let them pay for everything. Just give her, 500, 600, 700 peso, let her pay with everything for the taxis and things like that you have to get. Because a lot of times what happens is you start showing the big bills, they think they see money, and you have to be careful with that here. You have to be careful with that here. Don't throw rubbish or trash on the ground. They have new laws, a lot of these new laws I'm going to be telling you about today. Just be careful about throwing rubbish and trash on the ground. They stopped doing a lot of it in a lot of areas, and they're actually writing tickets out for people that actually throw rubbish and trash on the ground. So you have to be careful with that. Do not jaywalk. That's a big one here now, huh? Do not jaywalk. I actually almost got a ticket 2-3 times there in Davao, jaywalking. Even in CDO you can get a ticket for jaywalking if there's enforcers around. Not a lot of times, not a lot of intersections have enforcers, but you're finding more and more enforcers are out and writing tickets for jaywalking, spitting on the ground, smoking in public, gambling in public, which I'm going to be going over these things. And they'll write you a ticket. And the ticket's anywhere from $4 to $5. It could be $10, but they'll write tickets out for that, and they started doing that. That's something you have to be really careful with. Of course, do not spit. You cannot spit. You can't spit on the sidewalks. You can't spit. Be careful on spitting. And if you're smoking, be careful on smoking. That's something that you have to be careful with. Smoking here in public is not allowed. You can kind of hide your cigarette and put it off the side. Whatever you do, be careful on throwing the bud down on the ground. A lot of times what happens is an enforcer or somebody sees you, a security guard sees you throw it on the property, like you're going into a bank, and you throw it down on the ground. A lot of times they won't have a sandbox or anything to dispose of that property, so you have to make sure you dispose of it before you get to wherever you need to be. We had a friend just throwing cigarettes on the ground, and the security guard made him pick them up because it's littering, number one. Number two is smoking's not allowed, and throwing them on the ground is not allowed. So they're trying to straighten that up and clean up a lot of the Philippines, and I admire them for that. So no cigarette throwing on the ground, no spitting on the ground, and please careful on the gambling. Gambling here is something that people do sometimes at wakes. So somebody will pass and they'll have a situation where people gamble, and then the funds, that money goes to the person, the family, the profits of that gambling. So what they started doing, they stopped doing that. Recently they just had a raid at a wake that somebody was gambling. They had a raid at someone's thing. They say it's okay, but gambling means no gambling. There's no exclusions at wakes and things like that. There's no exclusions. People say there's exclusions. Well, apparently there wasn't one, and apparently they're putting people in jail for gambling in public. No gambling in public. No gambling. I don't know the answer to that if you're on your own property, but still, they went on that person's property at a wake, handcuffed them, took them off property, and took them to jail for gambling in public. And it wasn't that many people there. I mean, there's probably 30, 40 people there. As you know, sometimes a wake can have 100, 200 people there. Not everyone gambles, and it's not a bad thing. And gambling could be any type of source of funds back and forth, Okay, no jaywalking, no spitting on sidewalks, no gambling. Something else you got to be careful of: drinking in public. Carrying that bottle of beer, sitting over there by the sorry store is not allowed. You can't stand over and have a cold beer like you do in U.S. at a bar sitting outside having a cold beer. They're not allowed here to do that. If they see you, they will ticket you. Recently in some areas, depending, they will actually drive around and ticket people for sitting outside drinking at the sorry stores. Sometimes they'll have a glass. Even though it's on private property, even though it's not allowed to be drinking out in public anymore. Smoking and drinking and gambling and spitting and jaywalking, they're trying to control a lot of that. The things that the people have been doing in the past, it's always been something that they've always done. They're trying to stop a lot of that. They're just trying to stop it. Don't be rude and arrogant. One thing is very important. That's one thing you have to really be careful here. Please do not be rude. Don't be arrogant. Don't do that, because once you get that name for yourself, people will remember who you are. And word of mouth gets around pretty fast. I fell in town, and I actually, by the time I got home, people knew it here. People knew I fell. Neighbors actually knew I fell in town. And I literally was getting in the tricycle to come home, and the time I got home, which was 10 minutes later, they knew it here. You never know. You never know. Of course, don't be rude and arrogant. Goes along with don't yell at or any time and be cruel. Do not yell or be cruel. They will remember it. Make sure you're respectful. This is another big thing. Please be respectful to everybody. They will be respectful to you. If you're mean to someone, they're going to be mean back, of course. And if you're respectful, they'll respect you. There's very few times that somebody don't say, hello, sir. Hello, how you doing today, sir? Always. Ma'am or woman or man will say hello, sir, automatically. And you say hi back. Hello, how are you today, sir, ma'am, whatever. It's very respectful to do that. And they will always do that. And so it's always nice that you be the same back to them. If you don't want to, don't do it. Have your wife do it. If she don't want to, that's fine. That's fine. But just don't be disrespectful. Of course, I talked about throwing cigarettes away. Be careful with that. Enjoy it here. It's just a different culture here. It really is. It's just a completely different culture. It's not like it's bad or anything. It's just the way things are. And I don't blame them. I think it's great rules and regulations. Throwing cigarette butts on the ground is a bad thing. And throwing trash on the ground and bottles and trash, spitting on the ground, jaywalking. Here's the thing. There are stop signs. There are signs. Please don't walk in this walkway. Please don't do this here. They read, but they just don't follow. So be careful on signs too. If you think they're going to stop and you're getting ready to cross the street, make sure you look both ways. They don't stop. It's just the way it is. It just don't stop. Just be prepared. Enjoy the culture here. Also, the very last thing I want to talk about here is something that's really important. And we get this asked a lot of times, is the culture itself here is jokes. Be careful on your jokes. The sarcasm from the United States. I said something one long time ago, and I've said this in other videos. I said, see you later, alligator. And somebody thought I called him an alligator, which it really is. And the comeback to that is see you after a while, crocodile. Well, people took offense to it. And it was a joke, meaning a joke. And people sometimes will take heart to it. And it's understandable. They're just not used to our culture being the type of personality who we are. We're open. We kind of tell it like it is. We kind of just tell our feelings. Well, we don't tell our feelings, but we tell things as they are. So just be aware that here they necessarily don't do it. They're more quiet. They will not do that to you. Now they may secretly say something to someone. You can hear them talking and things like that. Sure, they say things about you. You know, one guy said something in Visaya one day, and I caught 3 or 4 of the words, which I knew were the words. Just look at that big American on motorcycle. It's like elephant on bike. But that's okay, and I knew it. And if I could have turned around at the time, I would have come back and said, 2 elephant on bike, and they would have got a kick out of it. They didn't mean anything bad. So it's like it's just that way. So what you have to do here, you just have to go with the flow. Don't take things so seriously. The fact is, don't make yourself sick over it, because it's not that important, you know. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you always for watching our channel, and thank you for always comments. If you don't like anything I said, just comment. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can take it. And if you like it, please hit the like or thumbs down. It's okay. Either way. I want to thank everybody. Everybody have a great day.